Coming at you live from the Neshoba County Fair. We're under the SuperTalk tent, just to the side of the pavilion here on Founder Square. And joining us now on the set, Shuwaski Young, a candidate for Congress to represent Mississippi's 3rd Congressional District. Shuwaski, thanks for coming on the program.
Listen, thank you so very much for having me back here at SuperTalk, Mississippi.
Yes, sir. So you've already spoken this morning, huh?
I spoke this morning at 10 a.m. It was a great opportunity to talk to the folks here in Neshoba County and across the state. I think folks really felt good about what we had to talk about during that speech.
Sure. Tell us a little bit about your background, Mr. Young.
Sure. So, look, I'm born, raised, and educated right here in Mississippi's 3rd Congressional District. Okay. I hailed from Winston and Neshoba counties, product of Mississippi Public
Schools. Your backyard here.
This is my backyard. I had my first job, right here at the Neshoba County Fair parking cars when I was 15.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So graduated East Church Community College, Jackson State University, and also, spent my first career job working for both Secretary of State's Dr. Eric Clark and also Lieutenant Governor Delbert Holtzman, who's speaking here now or in just a moment.
Okay. So you're running as a Democrat.
Absolutely.
Is that right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Right. And you will be taking on Congressman Michael Guest, who currently holds that seat. Okay. What was your message this morning?
Well, look, one of the things that was very important I want to get across is talking about our Christian values here in the state. The values that respect that bring us together as Mississippians, our Christian values of honesty and doing what you say you're going to do, values that garner respect but also calls for humility as well. And doing unto others as you would have them do unto you. Those are the things that connect us here in Mississippi. And I think that one of the things that's important for us to remember is how we're treating people. Once that message was going across in the crowd, we talked about the economics of it. I've been talking with Republicans and independents and Democrats all across the state for the past year. And folks want a representative who's going to bring jobs to Mississippi 3rd Congressional District. I talked about being able to have connections with some of the largest companies in our entire country. They want to do business here. We have to create the environment for private sector to grow here because we all know, look, government doesn't create jobs. Private sector does. It's government's job to actually make sure we have a business environment.
Right.
So that's the message. Talk about tax breaks for small businesses because they're the backbone of our community, and also talking about making sure that we protect Social Security as we move forward. Look, our elders took care of us. We got to take care of them.
Yeah.
Those were the tenets of the conversation for today, and I think people really appreciate that.
Well, that's interesting. So with respect to, you mentioned, I believe, tax credits for small businesses.
Yeah.
You're probably aware that there's been a bill that the Democrats in Congress on the Senate side, in particular the scaled-down Build Back Better version, have actually been proposing to increase taxes on small businesses. They want to apply the net investment income tax, the 3.8% so-called Medicare tax, to profits earned by small businesses, pass-through organizations, sub-S corporations and LLCs, et cetera.
Yeah.
Are you in favor there, or do you oppose that?
Look, I'm not in favor for anything that's going to be raising taxes on small businesses.
Okay.
Look, we have to do what's best for Mississippi. Right now, our particular state is last in pretty much every socio-economic category when it comes to business growth and also our economy.
Yep.
Look, that may not be the case for Massachusetts. It may not be the case for New York, and it may not be the case for California. I want to make sure that we're making sure that corporations at the top, the Facebooks, the Apples, the Amazons, that those folks are paying their fair share in American taxes so we can create the revenue needed to invest back into our economy through our small businesses to create more jobs and make sure that our community stays strong.
Okay.
So I'm not for raising taxes on anything that's going to involve small businesses.
One of the things, you also talked about Social Security, and you've probably seen that there are 3 bills, I believe, at this point that have been proposed on the Senate side, the U.S. Senate side, to try to address what we all know is coming, which is Social Security is going broke. So there are 3 different approaches that have been specified and outlined in 3 different bills. Do you have any particular personal ideas about what we need to do with Social Security?
Look, one of the things we have to do is make sure that the program remains solvent and gets to be solvent. It's not solvent right now. We know that. I want to make sure that we're making our investments into our senior citizens and our older Americans to make sure that Social Security stays in place, but also that we are actually using our tax money in a way that's going to be sustainable for the program, and also make sure that those folks that are on Medicaid and Medicare actually be able to be put on that program through a solvent way as well.
Yeah.
Look, I don't want to be, someone that's going to actually sit here and tell you that, look, everyone that wants social entitlement programs needs to be on it. We need to make sure that our programs are managed effectively and we need to make sure that people who are on those programs deserve to be on those programs and actually can stay on those programs.
Yeah, I mean, they're complex issues, no doubt.
Very complex.
But I will say that just the fact that you even bring that up is a matter that it needs to get on the table, needs to be discussed.
I agree.
Because the problem keeps getting kicked down the road there, and nobody's really talking seriously about taking some action to deal with it.
Look, we have so much division in our political discourse now between Republicans and Democrats across the entire country. And I think that that's one of the things that, I really bring to the table here. And what I talked about this morning on stage here to the folks in Neshoba County. Look, I'm not going to be someone that boasts 100% in line with my party all the time.
Okay.
Look, there are actual things within our party that we have to fix, that we have to get right, that Republicans actually do have some pretty good ideas on. How we actually sustain our entitlement programs or our programs that benefit our low-income Americans or marginalized groups. Look, there are some compassionate programs that Republicans have put forth. There are some programs on the Democratic side that we actually need to do a little bit more work on. But what we have to be able to do is work across the aisle with one another and make sure we're doing the right things for our state. As a representative, it's my job to make sure that people of the 3rd Congressional District, regardless of if you're white, black, Native American, regardless of whether you're low income or you're rich, or you have a small business owner especially, that I'm representing you in the interest of our economy and also what's in the best interest of our people. And you can count on me with that.
Gotcha. So I noticed on your website under the topic of economic policy, you state as your first bullet point, developing a local pipeline for high-earning career pathways.
This is true.
Can you elaborate on that?
Absolutely. So look, I've had the fortunate opportunity to work around this country and also work with some of the executives that represent some of the largest and most respected companies in the world. The people who actually are lawyers for Facebook, Bank of America, Google, Apple, and these companies and things like this. They are friends of mine.
Okay.
Right? And these folks want to invest their companies' opportunities in Mississippi. They want to be able to make sure that economic growth is happening in our state. So how we actually develop that is working with those particular companies to bring those jobs here to Mississippi, to bring those opportunities here to Mississippi, to provide the small businesses in our school and educational systems with programs that they can actually provide as a pipeline into entry for college and also for their private sector hiring and things like that. So when you graduate from Mississippi State or Jackson State University or Tougaloo College or Millsaps or Belhaven, and also Ole Miss. Hey, congratulations on the national championship for those Ole Miss fans out there. That you have a job that's going to secure your future and your family's future. One of which that's moving forward in this highly technological world that we're moving in.
Yeah.
And also they want to invest in our agricultural opportunities as well too. So when I say investing in higher earning career pathways, that means the gamut of bringing the private sector into our particular state to invest in our students, invest in our businesses, invest in our people.
So you said earlier that you see yourself working across the aisle.
Have to.
You believe you can, and you also noted, I believe, that there were some Republican policies that you could get behind.
Look, I'll take it. Just this morning, I was really surprised when somebody walked behind stage. I'm not going to say what political campaign shirt they had on, but they said, "My goodness, man, you sound like a Republican." I said, well, I guess thank you, but look, I sound like a Mississippian. Look, we all want the best for our children. We all fear God. At least I hope so. That's what we all said. But seriously, we have a lot of work to do in our economy here in this state, and we have to be able to work together to do that.
So do you feel like, should you be fortunate to get elected to Congress to represent the 3rd District, you know how leadership works and the sausage is made in Congress, in the House especially, where you got leadership is going to try to force you to walk the plank, and it may be to support things you don't agree with.
Look, that's not how I was raised. That's not what I believe in. That's not the Mississippi way. I do what's best first and foremost. Before I actually went on stage this morning, a group of folks came up and prayed for me before I went up there. And at the end of that prayer, she told me, look, God's telling me to tell you to always speak what's on your heart when you're talking to people and when you're governing, if you get the opportunity to win. And that's the way I'm going to actually do it. If it's best for the state, if it's best for our folks. Look, there's not a lot people really disagree on in the state of Mississippi.
Yeah.
It's the politics of it, and it's our explanation of it for dollars that are in politics that want to separate us instead of divide us.
Yeah.
So, look, I'm not going to be someone that's going to vote in line with my party all the time. Look, that's not even going to – look, nobody's going to keep their job in Mississippi if that's the case.
Yeah, so. I think that's probably true. You say that you are for lowering taxes for working-class families, small business owners. You kind of touched on that a bit. Anything specific there you got in mind?
I want to make sure that those folks who are choosing to start small businesses have the actual opportunities to do so and make money in their first year or 2 years of actual business growth, because that's the hardest time for business to actually sustain itself. Right, so we want to make sure that they're providing tax breaks in that area. Those folks who don't come from a large background of economic wealth, I want to make sure that they have a leg up in getting in and getting those small business loans they need to start their businesses.
Gotcha. Well, we are out of time here in the segment, but we appreciate you coming on Middays.
Man, it was great being with you.
Yeah, it was nice talking to you, and good luck to you on the campaign trail.
Thank you so much. God bless you.
Shuwaski Young, candidate for Mississippi's 3rd Congressional District, running on the Democrat ticket. We're going to take a break right here. Middays is at Founder Square, the Neshoba County.